Millions of Chevy owners have no idea their vehicle already has remote start built into it. My friend bought this bright red used 2020 Silverado. It came with only one key fob, this one, but I learned he can upgrade to have remote start simply by programming a spare with the right buttons. Check this out. Does the remote start work? It's my first time trying. Press and hold remote start for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Look at that! It worked! If you drive a GM vehicle, that means Chevy, GMC, Buick, or Cadillac, there's a good chance your car has this hidden feature and no one ever told you. What's even crazier, most dealerships don't even seem to know about it, or they just won't say a word. I'll show you how RPO codes hold the secret on GM vehicles. I only learned about it just last week, but here's the twist. I told my friend it would work on his truck, and I've never actually tried it before. So yeah, we'll see how it goes in just a few minutes. Here's where the story starts. When he sent a picture of his key fob, I was a bit surprised. It was a basic remote with just lock, unlock, and panic functions. Now his original key has the Chevy logo on the back, which most likely means it's an original key from the truck was manufactured. So why the downgrade? It could be due to the semiconductor shortage way back in 2020. It led to a shortage of many electronic components, including key fobs. Or maybe the dealership was just playing games and was trying to upsell the original purchaser to get remote start when the vehicle already had that function. Or perhaps the original owner lost both keys, or maybe the truck was repossessed by the bank. I don't really know, but the fact is he has a single key with no remote start function. However, the window sticker from his truck says remote vehicle start and tailgate with lift assist. And here's the thing, every vehicle deserves 2 keys. Having a spare will save a huge headache and expense if your only key gets lost. And guess what? Over 50% of used vehicles are sold with a single car key. So I decided to call dealerships. Trying to figure out if I can get remote start on it, what it takes to get remote start.
Not a feature you can add on, unfortunately.
What does it take just to get a spare key? I've got one key for this used truck.
From $580 to $600.
What? Okay, pretty spendy. How long does that take?
A couple hours, 3 and 5 hour.
Can you believe that? That is absolutely ridiculous. $580 to $600 to make a spare key fob for this 2020 Silverado at the Chevy dealership. And they want the car to be there for as long as 5 hours. That's absolutely crazy. At Tom's Key Company, you'll save hundreds of dollars and hours of time skipping the car dealership. I had a hard time getting a clear answer. I found something surprising in trying to get a dealership to answer whether this truck has remote start. It was hard to find one that could tell me, even after calling almost 20 dealerships. Out of the dealerships called, almost 80% either told me they could not add remote start, or they didn't know if it could be done, or they would not add remote start. I'm not sure where the truth lies. Did 80% know what they were talking about? Or did the 20% who said it could be done know? Or worse, would the 80% just not share the info? You're better off checking yourself. It's way easier. So finally, one dealership parts guy was super nice and helpful. I'll call him Butch. That's when I discovered RPO codes. Now, RPO stands for regular production option. It tells the plant exactly what to build into the particular vehicle. To find them, look for the Service Parts Identification Label, or the SPID. It's usually in the glove box. If the SPID label is not in the glove box, it could be in the trunk or another hidden location like this. And on my buddy's 2015 Silverado, it's right here behind the fish finder. Before 2018, all the RPO codes are printed on the Service Parts Identification Label. After 2018, the RPO codes are encoded into a QR code that's on the VIN labeled manufacturing label right here on the driver's door frame. Now, Butch told me that Spencer's truck was manufactured with the remote start and power tailgate options, and as such, we should find certain RPO codes. We should find the BTM code for keyless start or push button start, the BTV code for the remote engine start, and the QT3 or QT5 code for the power liftgate. See on my buddy's 2015 Silverado? Not on the lower one, on this one, it's right up here, right behind the trusty fish finder. The code BTV, see it in the upper right-hand corner. And on this 2012 Cadillac SRX, it also has the BTV code. You see there on the right-hand side, there's the BTV code. I don't know if that really works, and I don't know how hard it is to get them to print out the window sticker or to print out all the codes that the vehicle is manufactured with. RPO codes get all the details about the original manufacturing options and configuration. Everything from the paint color to the engine code, whether it has cruise control, the type of key it has, so many options. Some are very obvious and some are not so obvious. A little bit more about RPO codes because there's some really interesting stuff here. They started in 1950 as a way for General Motors to improve the manufacturing and customization process when they're building modern vehicles. Now there's a few notable RPO codes, like the Camaro Z28, it's a performance configuration, or the Corvette Z06, again, a performance package. The Silverado Z71, just like this one, that stands for the off-road package, and that's actually an RPO code. Over the years, Chevy leaned into this on a few vehicles. It can mean everything from a specific appearance of a vehicle to actually having the vehicle well outfitted for significant off-road performance in the case of the Silverado. Back in the 1990s, they started the 9C1 RPO code, and that was a Chevy Caprice police package. Back in the 1970s, the Nova, Malibu, Impala, the Caprice, and in the last 5 years, the 9C1 has been assigned on the Tahoe, on a Blazer, and on a Silverado for police vehicle packages. So if you buy a used vehicle and see that 9C1 code, you know it was actually outfitted as a police vehicle. That's gonna have some souped up features. So let's see what we find when scanning the SPID QR code on Spencer's truck. On newer vehicles, like Spencer's truck, the QR code is right down here. So let's scan it. All right, let's see what codes this truck has. There's no BTV code or BTM code, and there's no QT3 or QT5 codes, but then there's all these dots at the end. So I'm not sure, but this doesn't seem to be giving me all the RPO codes. Maybe I don't have the right scanner because I'm just using my phone scanning app. I guess we've got one way to find out if we can add remote start. We're gonna program a new key. It's got the remote start and the tailgate buttons. This entire process to program a new key fob is really quick. It only takes a few minutes. I'm excited to see if this actually works because I promised my buddy he'd end up with remote start when we're done. I told my friend this is gonna work based on what Butch told me from that one Chevy dealership. Let's see if this really works. It's my first time trying. Programming a spare key is super easy with this app and programming tool. The programmer gets plugged into the vehicle. Then the app walks you through a few easy steps. It takes just minutes to add an extra key. All right, this is the moment of truth I've been waiting for. Does the remote start work? Let's find out. Here's how to use. You gotta lock the vehicle and then press and hold remote start for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Look at that! Look at that, it works! The vehicle has remote start. The dealerships didn't even know. We just made a spare key for my friend and remote start worked. I'm so excited. I was not sure if that was gonna work after scanning the QR code and not finding the BTV. I think there's something I did wrong. Anyway, this is awesome. We've just upgraded his vehicle to have remote start. And now we'll find out if the power liftgate's gonna work as well. Did you know that remote start will run for 15 minutes and if you don't get in the vehicle, it'll stop. You can start it again to extend it for another 15 minutes, but after that, it's not gonna keep burning gas. Now, if you wanna cancel remote start, you should just hold the remote start button again. Here we go. That bad boy is turned off. So, remote start worked, so the tailgate assist should work as well. Here we go. Click it twice. Boom! Look at that. We got this upgrade. Well, not really an upgrade. We just got a new key fob that has the buttons to access the original features that the truck was manufactured with, the remote start and tailgate assist. And I can't believe that 80% of Chevy dealerships said it couldn't be done, or they wouldn't do it, or they didn't know how to do it. It's so easy. And in the background, there's my trusty 2004 Pontiac Vibe. If you want to find out why you should be driving a beater vehicle, just like I have, leave a message in the comments. This is awesome. I'm so excited to find that the new key fob works and we successfully programmed remote start feature. So much for the 80% of dealerships who said it couldn't be done.
Not a feature you can add on, unfortunately.
We just proved them wrong. While I was researching online, I saw all sorts of questions. People asking things like, does my Chevy have remote start? Or how do I know if my Buick has remote start? But there weren't a lot of good answers. So hopefully this video has helped you answer a question that you have. Anyone with a used car should know this. And let's be serious. Did you know there's around 14 to 18 million new vehicles sold every year in the United States? Somewhere around 40 to 50 million used cars change hands every year. There's around 300 million vehicles on the the road in the United States. That's almost one vehicle for every person in the US, and that includes the 2-year-olds. So with over half of used vehicles coming with a single key, so check your RPO code there. There's some online decoders like decoderpo.com who provided some help for me in this video. Or you can try calling a bunch of dealerships until you find one that can tell you for sure whether your vehicle has remote start or not. I'm gonna make a prediction. There's gonna be a zillion Chevy owners digging around in your glove box, scanning the QR code, looking for those RPO codes so you can figure out if you can do an easy upgrade to get remote start. If you're still watching, you probably found this video helpful. Please watch the next video, all sorts of interesting stuff here. And if you need a spare key, come to tomskey.com. We're happy to help you out. We have great customer service and a full money back guarantee.